Hi, I'm Maggie from maggiescrochet.com, and this pillow video is sponsored by Premier Yarns. This pillow is surprisingly very easy to make, and I'm using Starbella yarn, which is typically used for ruffled scarves. And there is a ruffled scarf type edging on this, and this color here is Purple Rain. And then the colors in the video that I use are Happy Pinks on one side, and then I decided to switch it up and use Birthday Cake on the other side. So all of the Starbella yarns will work for this. You can use the Starbella stripes, you can use a solid color, you could use the multicolors like you see here. You could even use neon colors, or you could use the any Starbella yarn, which is the Flash or any of the other yarns. It's all interchangeable because it's all a super bulky number 6 yarn. And the finished measurements for this is 16 inches, but in the video I'm going to show you how to make a 14-inch pillow out of the same pattern. And the hook size that's recommended is an S, and I used a Q in my video, and I think it works out just as well, and it's a little bit tighter on the stitches. The finished measurement for this is 16 inches, and this calls for 4 balls of the Starbella yarn and the S crochet hook, and then you need to switch to a smaller hook on the outside, which is a G. And the gauge isn't super important on this except for the sizing of your pillow, and I'll show you how to size this according to what pillow form you have. You could actually make it bigger than this pillow. But on the outside, you have to switch to a smaller hook like a G or an H or whatever you have around that size would work. And you'll also need a yarn needle and, of course, the pillow form and something to mark the beginning and ends of your rounds. And for that, I use a contrasting piece of yarn, or you could use a stitch marker, would work just as good. And this yarn is a netting yarn, and it can be used as a for ruffled scarves, like I said, or in this design it's used as the whole strand like this, as if it were just a super bulky yarn. And then when you do the ruffle, you switch back and use it as a netting yarn, which makes it a very interesting project to do. So this is a this is great for making scarves, and you only need 1 skein. So the links to everything are listed below, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel. And now I'll go to a close-up and show you how to make this pillow. Here's a close-up of the back that I made in Happy Pinks, and I thought it'd be fun to change colors for the front side. So I'll be showing you how to make the pillow with the Birthday Cake yarn. So I leave like a 5-inch end on my starting chain, and instead of a S hook, I'm going to use a Q hook, which is a little bit smaller, but I like the way it makes it a little bit tighter like this. And this will stretch, and it will fit over a at least a 14-inch pillow, and then you'll see as we go along that it's really easy to add more rounds because it increases very symmetrically. So to get started, we start with a slip knot on our hook, and you chain 2, and then you work 8 single crochets in the second chain from hook. If the hole spreads out too much, you just pull this back in, and it'll bring it, it'll close it up. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm just starting a new skein, so it doesn't want to come out really easy. Okay, now instead of joining here, I'm just going to mark the end of the round. And to do that, you take a contrasting color of yarn like this, and you just lay it on this side of the last stitch you worked of this round, and you just lay it in there and just leave it there. You can also use a stitch marker, but I find it easier to just use the yarn like this. So now you work your first stitch of your next round with the marker in between. So now you're going to work 2 single crochets in the first stitch and in each stitch around. So now you're going to be doubling. Now it's going to double the amount of single crochet, so you're going to have 16 at the end. Oh, this yarn. Okay, so there's 2 in there, so you just work 2 singles in each one. Keeps wanting to catch the netting part of the yarn. Okay, so when you get around to the end, you'll notice the stitch marker is right here, and you want to count your stitches and make sure that you have 16 going around. So I count the little ovals up here, so there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So that's the end of round 2. So now I just take the marker. I can either take the strand from the back and move it forward, or the front and move it back like that, just as long as it's laying on this side of your last stitch of that round. So now I'm ready for the next one. So I don't have to join. I won't have the little mark where I join. So now you work 2 singles in the next stitch right here, and 1 single in the next, and then 2. So you're increasing every other one, and then 1, and then 2, one, 2, 1, 2. I do this in my head all the time, and I count a lot of things other than crochet stitches too. Okay. So I'm doing 2 and then 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1. So every round is increasing by 8. So now instead of 16, I should have 24 when I get done with this round. So now you see the stitch markers right here. So I want to find one of the strands and I'm going to take it from the back and move it to the front like that. And then the next round is a 2 in 1 space for an increase, and then a single and a single. So now the whole round is the same thing. It's 2 for an increase and then a single and a single. So what's happening here is that there's one more single between the increase stitch than on each round. So this one has 2, the next one I'll have 3 in between, the next one 4, and it goes up to 5 in between the increases. I'm pretty sure that's the way this one went. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So you keep going in this pattern, and like it's going to be increase, single, single, increase, single, single, and on the next one it's going to be increase, single, single, single. You're going to have 3 singles in between your increase. So keep going until you complete round, I think it's round 5, until you have 5 single crochet stitches between your increase stitches, and then I'll come back on camera with my 2 pieces, and then I'll put them together in a pillow for a pillow, and then show you how to do the ruffled edge. I finished the 2 sides of my pillow, and the one side I did in the back loop in Happy Pink's color, and then this side I did in both loops, just so that you could see the difference. And this one was done in Birthday Cake, and I'm going to use these on a 14-inch pillow instead of a 16-inch pillow. And if you put your piece up to your pillow, it should just be about this size, because you want it to stretch a little bit. And if you want your pillow to be bigger, like if you wanted to use the Q hook instead of the S hook, all you need to do is keep doing the increase round and having one more be in between the increases, the 2 single crochet increases. So you would have, instead of 5 single crochets in between your increases, you would go to 6 and 7, however big you wanted to make this. So anyway, right now I'm going to show you how to finish off the one side. So I'm going to finish off this one, and to finish off, all I do is slip stitch in the next stitch like this, and then make a chain like this, and then pull on the back side of the chain, and then just cut about 6 inches out like that, and then take that loop and just pull it all the way out, and that locks that. So I'm not going to worry about the ends on this, because I'm going to make sure that they're crocheted into the inside of this pillow. So now on the other piece, I'm not going to disconnect my yarn, and I am going to, this is the right side of the pillow, and then this, I want to take the wrong side of the other pillow like this and match it up to the wrong side of this piece. So I have both of my pieces with wrong sides facing, and then I need to join these 2 pieces together. So I'm going to be crocheting through both sides, and I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to go underneath the 2 loops, and then I'm going to grab the 2 loops from the stitch on the other side. So I'm just going to work a single crochet all the way around. Let's go through some of the strands. So you work through both the front and the back loops. So I'm going to keep going around like this, and then I'll come back on camera and get my scissors out of the way. So you just keep crocheting around like this, through both sides, through both thicknesses. And that's how you join your pillow together. And just before it gets too small, as I'm going around too, I want to stick any cut ends or anything just to the inside. Any of these strands, because I won't have to worry about sewing them together. So before it gets too, before you go too far, you want to slide your pillow in and then finish the single crochet round. So I'm going to finish mine and you finish yours, and then I'll come back on camera. So I've worked single crochet stitches all the way around through both sides, and I left this much of an opening. I put my pillow in, and then I realized that if I tried to do this with the pillow in on camera, it would be way too big. So but this is a size opening that you want to leave, and you would put your pillow in at this point and then crochet these sides together. But I just went ahead and single crocheted over to here, and then I'm going to show you what to do after you get to this point. So now this is very interesting. I've never actually done this before, but you want to switch to a small G hook, and you're going to start using the netting yarn as a netting yarn for the ruffle. So I have a slip stitch right here that you can see, and I have a G hook now, which is very interesting. So now you want to open this up like this. Okay, so you see there's a solid band there, and then there's a netting side. You're going to be working in the netting side. Okay, so you're going to act like these loops are just yarn overs of yarn. So to do that, you're going to work 2 single crochets in each single crochet around here, and you can just work in the back loop. So it would be like this, and you're going to yarn over with a loop like this and pull that loop up, and then you yarn over again with the next loop like this, and then you pull through the 2 loops that are on your hook like that, and you work 2 of those in the same stitch. So now you're going to insert your hook, you're going to yarn over with a loop and bring that loop up, and then yarn over with the next loop like that, and then you complete your single crochet with that loop. So now you do that with each one. You do 2 single crochets in each one around. So this one, you insert your hook, you draw up a loop, which is one of the little boxes there like that. You yarn over with the next little box, and you draw through 2 to complete a single crochet. Then you're going to do another single crochet. I'm lining up my boxes. So you insert your hook in there, you draw up a loop, and it's a loop of the netting yarn. You pull that up, then you yarn over with the next loop, and you draw through 2. It's really, really easy. Okay, now again, you're going to, I've got 2 in there, so I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to draw up a loop, which is one of the strands like that, and then I'm going to yarn over with the next one and pull that through the 2. That's a single. And then if your yarn starts twirling, you just figure out which way you need to roll it. You just roll it toward, this one's towards me, and it makes it straighten out. Some people say it doesn't roll as much when you use the outside, so maybe that would work. So I've only got 1 single crochet there, so I need another one. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to pick up the next loop, draw that up, and draw up the next loop and draw through 2 like this. So that's, I'm done with that one. So now the next one, I'll do one more. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to yarn over with one of the strands, then I'm going to yarn over with the next strand and draw through 2. So there's one there. So the next one I'm going to insert in there. I'm going to yarn over with the next box like that, yarn over with the next box, and then draw through 2. So you see a little ruffle starting to form here. So go ahead and go all the way around, and when you come back to here, I'll come back on camera and I'll show you the next step. Here's a close-up of the finished pillow, and if you turn it on this side, you'll notice the border rounds to make the ruffle are the 2 single crochets in the first round that I just showed you, and then after that you'll need to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then you'll do 3 rounds of single crochet even, and that's what creates this really cool ruffle here. So I really like this. So this is the finished 16-inch pillow. Let me get that off camera here. And this is what mine looks like. It's so cute, I love it. I've never done this before and I just love this. So I'm going to try to think of a way to make this into a ruffled skirt, this type of pattern. Okay, so I landed up right here, and I was doing the 2 single crochets in each one around. And now when I come around here, this is my first single crochet that I did right here. So when I come around, this is my last single crochet of round 1, and I need to take a contrasting yarn, and I've got a piece of yarn here, and just lay it on the side of my last stitch, and then it'll be lay between my last stitch and the first stitch of my next round, which is round 2. So now I'm going to go ahead and pretend that that's not even there, and then I'm going to be working now into these single crochet stitches from round 1, and I'm going to insert my hook under both strands like that. Then I'm going to draw up a loop from the netting yarn and pull that up, and then yarn over with the next loop from the netting yarn, from the working yarn, and draw that through the 2 loops on my hook. And that stitch marker just stays right there. And then when I come back around, I just move it again just like I placed it there. I'll just move it back this way when I come around with my last single crochet. Then I'll move this before I start the first single crochet of round 3. So you just keep going around like this 3 rounds. Let me do a couple for you. Okay, so I'm going to go into the next 2 single crochet under the 2 loops. I'm going to yarn over with the netting yarn. I'm going to draw that loop up like that. I'm going to yarn over with the next loop on the netting yarn and draw that through the 2 loops on the hook to make a single crochet. Again, I go ahead and I line up 2 loops, and I'm gonna go in the next single crochet from front to back. I'm gonna yarn over with the next loop of netting yarn. I'm gonna draw that up, and then yarn over with the next loop and draw that through the 2 loops on my hook, just like that. And then I'll just keep going around for 3 rounds. Okay, so I just did this one, so now I go in this one, and I'm going to yarn over with the next loop from the netting yarn, bring that up, and yarn over with the next loop and draw that through the 2 loops on the hook. Okay, come here. Okay, so go into the next single crochet, yarn over with the first loop that you have there, yarn over with the next loop, bring that through the 2 loops on your hook, like that. So now that's going to create the second round of ruffles, And then when you're done, you're going to have 4 rounds of ruffles. So just keep going all the way around, and then at the end, you're going to want to, when you're done, you're going to want to go in like this and pull up the whole wad like this, and then go pull that through and pull that through the last loop on your hook like this, and then you will cut this whole strand like this, and then you will yarn over with the whole strand and bring that through that, and then pull that tight like that. And then just go back to your big hook and bring that through the inside of the pillow to the outside, right near that yarn, and just pull it to the inside of the pillow. Then you don't have to sew it in. That's exciting. Not to have to sew in. So that's how you make the ruffled pillow. And I want to thank you for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel and enjoy your crochet.